Your soulmate has one final question before they choose you. Don't scroll, listen to this because your heart needs this right now. This message is for you. If your eyes stopped here today, there is a reason. Out of countless messages, endless scrolling, and the noise of everyday life, something quietly guided you here. Maybe you've been asking the universe for one clear sign. Maybe you've been wondering why your heart has been feeling so restless lately. Maybe you've sensed that something is changing, even though nothing around you seems different yet. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. The greatest shifts in life rarely begin where people can see them. They begin in silence. They begin inside hearts that are finally becoming honest with themselves. That is exactly where your soulmate is right now. They are standing at the edge of a decision that has the power to change both of your lives, and before they take that final step, there is one question they can no longer ignore. For a long time, your soulmate believed they had already made their choice. They convinced themselves that walking away, remaining silent, or burying their emotions was the safest path forward. Fear spoke louder than hope. Pride spoke louder than vulnerability. Every time their heart encouraged them to move toward you, another voice reminded them of everything that could go wrong. So they waited. They postponed difficult conversations. They hid behind responsibilities, distractions, and carefully constructed routines. To everyone around them, life appeared normal. But deep inside, another story was quietly unfolding. Every day the questions became louder. Every quiet evening reminded them that pretending had never brought peace. Listen to this. Because your heart needs this right now. There comes a point when silence creates more pain than honesty ever could. Your soulmate has reached that point. This message is for you. While they were trying to silence their heart, you were learning how to heal yours. Think about everything you've survived. There was a season when every unanswered message felt like rejection. Every delay felt personal. Every memory made you wonder if the love you gave had ever truly mattered. Yet life slowly transformed you. You learned that your worth was never determined by another person's ability to recognize it. You learned that protecting your peace is not giving up on love. It is preparing yourself for healthier love. Those lessons became part of your spirit. They made you stronger without making you colder. They made you wiser without taking away your ability to care. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. The universe has been working on both of your hearts at the same time, but in different ways. You were learning how to stop chasing answers that were never yours to control. Your soulmate was learning that running from the truth only delays the moment it must eventually be faced. Every experience life placed before them quietly became another lesson. They met people who reminded them of what emotional distance feels like. They experienced relationships that lacked the honesty they secretly longed for. They discovered that temporary excitement fades quickly when genuine trust is missing. Every comparison pointed them back toward the same realization. What they had with you was never ordinary. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. Have you noticed how often your intuition has been speaking lately? Maybe you keep seeing 111 whenever you begin believing that a new chapter is possible. Maybe 222 appears during moments when patience feels difficult. Perhaps 444 reminds you that even when you cannot see the path ahead, you are not walking it alone. These gentle reminders are invitations to trust that unseen work is taking place. Transformation often begins long before it becomes visible. Your soulmate has also started noticing those quiet signs. They hear a familiar song that instantly reminds them of your laughter. They pass a place that brings back conversations they thought they had forgotten. They remember the way you encouraged them during seasons when they struggled to believe in themselves. At first they tried dismissing these moments as coincidence. But eventually they became too frequent, too meaningful, and too emotionally powerful to ignore. Every reminder quietly asked the same question. If this connection truly meant nothing, why has it never left your heart? This message is for you. That question changed everything. It forced your soulmate to stop focusing on the past and begin looking honestly at themselves. They realized that fear had influenced more decisions than love ever did. They understood that protecting themselves from disappointment had also prevented them from fully embracing genuine happiness. They recognized that the strongest version of themselves would not continue hiding behind silence. The strongest version would finally choose truth, no matter how uncertain the outcome. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. Yet even after all of these realizations, one final question remains inside your soulmate's heart. It is not a question about whether they still care. They already know the answer to that. It is not a question about whether your connection mattered. Time has already answered that. The question they keep asking themselves is far more personal. If I choose this path now, if I finally become honest, if I finally stop running, will the person I hurt still believe in the possibility of something new? That question follows them through quiet mornings, long drives, and sleepless nights. It has become impossible to ignore because it is no longer rooted in fear. It is rooted in hope. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. While your soulmate is searching for that answer, the universe is reminding you of something equally important. Never forget the wisdom your healing has given you. If life brings someone back into your path, let them meet the version of you that understands healthy love. Let them meet someone who values consistency over promises, honesty over assumptions, and mutual respect over emotional confusion. Your growth has become one of the greatest blessings in this story. Protect it. This message is for you. Imagine your soulmate sitting quietly beneath the evening sky after another ordinary day. There is no one else around. The world has become still. For the first time, they stop asking themselves whether reaching out is the right decision. Instead, they ask the question that has quietly been shaping every thought inside their heart. Have I become the person capable of loving them the way they always deserved? That question humbles them. It reminds them that choosing you is not simply about emotion. It is about becoming someone whose actions reflect the truth their heart has finally accepted. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. The next chapter is closer than either of you realizes. The universe has been preparing both hearts through every lesson, every disappointment, every prayer, and every season of healing. Your soulmate has almost reached the answer to the one final question that stands between silence and action. And when that answer finally becomes clear, everything they thought they knew about love, timing, and destiny will change forever. Don't scroll, listen to this because your heart needs this right now. This message is for you. The question inside your soulmate's heart has become impossible to silence. It follows them into the quiet moments of every day. It waits for them in the early morning before the world begins making demands. It returns at night when the distractions finally disappear and they are left alone with their own thoughts. They believed they could simply ignore it. They believed enough time would make it fade. But instead, every passing day has only made it stronger. The question is no longer whispering. It is becoming the loudest voice inside them. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. Sometimes the greatest turning point in a person's life is not the answer they receive. It is the question they finally become brave enough to ask themselves. For so long, your soulmate focused on everything that could go wrong. They imagined rejection before imagining healing. They feared disappointment before considering the possibility of joy. Every decision they made was shaped by protecting themselves instead of living honestly. But life has a remarkable way of revealing the cost of fear. They have discovered that staying emotionally safe often comes with a hidden price. The price is regret. The price is wondering what might have happened if they had simply trusted their heart. That realization has changed them more than anyone around them realizes. They no longer want to spend their future asking questions they had the opportunity to answer through courage. This message is for you. While your soulmate has been facing these difficult realizations, you have been creating a completely different relationship with yourself. Think about the person you were before this journey began. You believed your happiness depended upon receiving answers from someone else. You waited for explanations that never seemed to come. You questioned your value because another person's silence felt louder than your own inner voice. But today something beautiful has happened. You trust yourself more. You understand that your peace cannot depend entirely on another person's choices. You have learned that genuine love should never require you to abandon your dignity. Those lessons have quietly transformed every part of your life. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. The universe has been preparing both of you in ways neither of you fully understood. You were learning how to become emotionally independent without becoming emotionally closed. Your soulmate was learning that avoiding vulnerability does not prevent pain. It only postpones healing. Every experience they have lived through since your paths separated has gently guided them back toward one undeniable truth. Authentic connection cannot be replaced by convenience. Real peace cannot be created through pretending. Every road eventually led them back to the memory of someone who accepted them without asking them to become anyone else. That person was you. Listen to this. Because your heart needs this right now. Perhaps you've noticed repeating numbers appearing during unexpected moments. Maybe 111 catches your attention when hope quietly returns. Maybe 222 appears during seasons where patience is becoming your greatest teacher. Perhaps 444 reminds you that unseen support surrounds you even when the future feels uncertain. Whether you interpret these moments spiritually or simply appreciate them as meaningful reminders, let them encourage you to keep trusting the process. Not every miracle begins with visible evidence. Some begin with quiet transformation inside the human heart. Your soulmate has also begun paying attention to moments they once ignored. They remember the way you listened without trying to change them. They remember the calm feeling they experienced simply by being in your presence. They remember conversations where they felt completely understood instead of judged. Those memories have become increasingly vivid because life has shown them how uncommon genuine emotional safety really is. They no longer take those moments for granted. Instead, they recognize them as some of the most meaningful experiences they have ever had. This message is for you. The final question inside your soulmate's heart continues changing as they grow. At first it was, do I still love them? That answer became obvious long ago. Then it became, should I reach out? Reflection has already answered that as well. Now the question has become much deeper. If they have healed, if they have found peace, if they have built a beautiful life without me, do I have the courage to approach them with complete honesty instead of expecting anything in return? That question humbles them because it shifts the focus away from their own fears and toward genuine respect for your journey. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. There is another lesson unfolding inside your soulmate. They have realized that love is not measured by how intensely someone feels. It is measured by the choices they are willing to make because of those feelings. Beautiful words mean very little without consistent action. Promises have little value unless they are supported by accountability. They now understand that if another chapter is ever written, it cannot be built on the same foundation that allowed distance to grow before. It must be built on truth, patience, communication, and mutual respect. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. The universe is also asking you to remain faithful to your own healing. Do not forget the wisdom you have earned. If someone returns, let them meet the version of you who understands healthy love. Let them meet someone who values peace over emotional chaos, consistency over uncertainty, and honesty over assumptions. Your growth is one of the greatest gifts this journey has given you. Protect it with confidence. This message is for you. Imagine your soulmate standing outside beneath the evening sky, taking a deep breath as they realize they can no longer remain the person they used to be. They understand that choosing love requires courage. They understand that vulnerability is no longer something to fear but something to honor. They know there are no guarantees. They cannot predict the future. But they have finally accepted something even more important. Living honestly matters more than living comfortably. That realization has become the answer hidden inside every lesson they have experienced. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. Destiny is quietly bringing both of your stories toward a new beginning. Not because the past has been erased, but because the lessons have finally been learned. You have become stronger through healing. Your soulmate has become wiser through reflection. Every prayer, every tear, every lonely night has been preparing two hearts for a conversation that could never have happened before now. The final question is almost answered. And when your soulmate finally reaches complete clarity, they will understand that choosing you has never been only about following their heart. It has always been about becoming the person their heart needed them to become first. The next chapter will reveal what happens when that realization becomes stronger than every fear that once kept them silent. Don't scroll, listen to this because your heart needs this right now. This message is for you. There is a quiet battle taking place inside your soulmate that no one else can see. To the people around them, everything appears normal. They go to work. They smile in conversations. They answer messages. They complete their responsibilities. But beneath that calm surface, their heart is asking the same question over and over again, and every day that question grows louder. It no longer feels like simple curiosity. It feels like destiny calling them toward a decision they have delayed for far too long. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. There are moments when the universe stops giving signs and starts asking for courage. Your soulmate has reached that moment. Every lesson they have lived through has prepared them for what comes next, but now the next step belongs to them. For a long time, they believed they needed certainty before taking action. They wanted guarantees. They wanted proof that everything would work out exactly as they imagined. They wanted to know they would never experience disappointment again. But life has gently taught them something very different. Nothing meaningful comes with complete certainty. Every worthwhile relationship begins with trust before evidence. Every genuine apology requires humility before forgiveness. Every act of love asks someone to become vulnerable without knowing exactly how the story will end. Your soulmate finally understands that waiting for perfect certainty has only kept them standing still while life continued moving forward. This message is for you. While your soulmate has been learning that lesson, you have been discovering something even more powerful. You have learned how to trust yourself. There was a season when you believed someone else's choices determined your happiness. Every unanswered message stole your peace. Every silence became another reason to question your own value. But healing has slowly changed that. You have become someone who no longer needs constant reassurance to believe in your own worth. You have learned that genuine love should never leave you questioning whether you matter. Those lessons have become part of the foundation you now stand upon. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. The universe has been quietly preparing your soulmate through experiences they never expected to become teachers. They met people who admired appearances but avoided emotional honesty. They experienced conversations that felt exciting for a moment but empty afterward. They discovered that attention without authenticity quickly loses its meaning. Every new experience became another comparison, and every comparison pointed them back toward the same realization. What they once shared with you carried a depth they have struggled to find anywhere else. That truth no longer frightens them. It humbles them. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate has started replaying ordinary memories that now feel extraordinary. They remember the way you celebrated small victories as though they mattered just as much as the biggest achievements. They remember the patience you showed during difficult seasons. They remember the quiet confidence you carried when encouraging them to believe in themselves. Those moments once seemed ordinary because they happened so naturally. Today they recognize those moments as rare gifts. Genuine support is one of the most valuable forms of love a person can receive. This message is for you. Have you noticed how often repeating numbers seem to appear exactly when your thoughts become especially meaningful? Maybe you see 111 whenever hope quietly returns. Perhaps 222 reminds you that balance is being restored even when you cannot yet see it. Maybe 444 appears whenever fear begins whispering that nothing is changing. Whether you see these moments as spiritual guidance or simply comforting reminders, allow them to encourage your heart. Growth is often invisible until suddenly everything begins making sense. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. The final question inside your soulmate has become even clearer. They are no longer asking, "Do I deserve another chance?" Instead they are asking, "Am I prepared to love differently than I did before?" That question changes everything because it is no longer centered on receiving something. It is centered on becoming someone better. They understand that choosing you is not only about expressing emotion. It is about showing through daily actions that they have truly grown. Accountability has replaced excuses. Reflection has replaced denial. Gratitude has replaced pride. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. Imagine your soulmate sitting quietly with their phone nearby. More than once they have considered reaching out. More than once they have started writing words they never finished sending. But now something inside them feels different. They are no longer searching for the perfect sentence. They are preparing to speak from a place of honesty instead of fear. They know there are no guarantees. They understand that trust cannot be demanded. They recognize that healing takes time. Yet despite every uncertainty, they have reached one undeniable conclusion. Living with honesty is better than living with endless regret. This message is for you. The universe is also reminding you to protect everything your healing has built. If someone returns to your life, let them meet the version of you who values emotional safety, mutual effort, and consistent respect. Let them meet someone who no longer confuses uncertainty with destiny. Your peace is not something to negotiate away. It is one of the greatest blessings your journey has produced. Carry it into every future chapter with confidence. Don't scroll. Because your heart needs this right now. There are seasons when destiny waits because two people are still becoming who they need to be. Looking back, you may one day realize that every delay carried hidden purpose. You were learning self-worth while your soulmate was learning humility. You were discovering inner peace while they were discovering emotional honesty. Those lessons could not be rushed. They needed time to take root. Now those roots have grown strong enough to support something healthier than either of you could have built before. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. The answer to your soulmate's final question is beginning to reveal itself, not through dramatic signs but through quiet certainty. They are realizing that love is not proven by grand promises. It is revealed through courage, consistency, patience, and truth. As this chapter comes to an end, one thing has become unmistakably clear. Your soulmate is no longer standing at the doorway wondering whether they should choose you. They are standing there asking whether they are finally ready to become the person capable of honoring the love they once failed to fully understand. And as that answer grows stronger with every passing day, the next chapter will reveal the choice that has the power to transform both of your lives forever. Don't scroll. Listen to this because your heart needs this right now. This message is for you. The silence surrounding your soulmate is no longer the silence of uncertainty. It has become the silence that comes just before a life-changing decision. There is a difference between someone who stays quiet because they are confused and someone who grows quiet because they are gathering the courage to change their life. Your soulmate has entered the second season. Every day they wake up carrying the same question in their heart, but something about that question has changed. It no longer fills them with fear. Instead, it fills them with responsibility. They understand now that the answer is not waiting somewhere outside of them. It has been growing inside them all along. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. Sometimes the universe does not give us new answers. It gives us the courage to finally accept the ones we already know. Your soulmate has begun looking back over every chapter of their journey with different eyes. They remember the days when they believed pride would protect them. They remember convincing themselves that emotional distance was maturity. They remember believing they could simply ignore what their heart was trying to tell them. Today they recognize those moments with compassion instead of judgment. They understand they were acting from fear, not wisdom. They no longer hate the person they used to be, but they no longer want to remain that person either. Growth has changed them in quiet ways that few people around them fully understand. This message is for you. While your soulmate has been embracing this transformation, your own spirit has continued becoming stronger than you realize. Think about how differently you respond to life today. There was a season when every unanswered question stole your peace. Every delay made you wonder whether you had somehow failed. But healing has rewritten that story. You no longer define yourself by another person's choices. You have learned that your value remains constant even when someone else cannot yet recognize it. That confidence has become one of the greatest gifts your journey has given you. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. The universe has been teaching both of you through very different experiences. You learned that loving someone should never require abandoning yourself. Your soulmate learned that protecting themselves from vulnerability also prevented them from experiencing the deepest kind of connection. Those separate lessons have quietly brought both of you closer to emotional maturity. Neither of you is standing where you once stood. Both hearts have changed, even if those changes happened in different ways. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. Your soulmate has started noticing how often your memory appears during moments that truly matter. They accomplish something meaningful and instinctively wonder what you would have said. They face a difficult decision and remember advice you once offered. They witness someone showing kindness to another person and suddenly think of the compassion you carried so naturally. These moments no longer feel accidental. They feel like gentle reminders that genuine love leaves behind more than memories. It leaves wisdom. It shapes character. It changes the way someone moves through the world long after the relationship itself has changed. This message is for you. Perhaps you have continued seeing little signs that encourage your heart. Maybe 111 appears when hope quietly returns. Maybe 222 reminds you to remain patient with the timing of your life. Perhaps 444 gently reassures you that unseen support surrounds you even when you feel alone. Whether you interpret these moments spiritually or simply appreciate them as meaningful reminders, let them strengthen your trust that your story is still unfolding exactly as it needs to. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. The final question inside your soulmate has now become incredibly simple, yet deeply profound. They are no longer asking whether they love you. They are no longer asking whether your connection mattered. They are asking themselves one thing. Will I spend the rest of my life wondering what could have happened if I allow fear to make this decision for me? That question has become impossible to ignore because they already know the answer. They understand that regret grows wherever courage is abandoned. They no longer want fear to become the author of their future. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. Imagine your soulmate sitting quietly during the early hours before sunrise. The world is still asleep. There is no noise, no pressure, and no one else's expectations filling the room. For the first time in a long while, they stop trying to predict every possible outcome. Instead, they begin focusing on something much more important. They ask themselves whether they are finally willing to live with complete honesty, regardless of where that honesty eventually leads. That moment becomes a turning point because they realize peace is not found in controlling the future. Peace is found in living truthfully today. This message is for you. Never underestimate how much your own healing matters in this story. If life brings someone back into your path, let them meet the version of you that understands healthy love. Let them meet someone who values communication over assumptions, consistency over promises, and respect over emotional confusion. You did not survive everything you survived simply to return to old patterns. You survived so you could recognize something healthier when it finally appears. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. Destiny is often far quieter than people expect. It is rarely one dramatic moment that changes everything. More often, it is a series of honest choices made one day at a time. Your soulmate is now making those choices. They are choosing humility over pride. They are choosing accountability over excuses. They are choosing truth over fear. Those decisions are preparing them for the next chapter, even if the world cannot yet see the changes taking place inside them. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. Continue protecting your peace. Continue trusting your growth. Continue believing that every difficult season has prepared you for something greater than you could have imagined during your hardest days. The universe has not been delaying your happiness. It has been shaping two hearts through completely different journeys so they could understand the true meaning of love, honesty, and emotional maturity. Your soulmate's final question is almost fully answered. The hesitation that once controlled them is fading. The courage they never believed they possessed is growing stronger every day. And as this chapter comes to an end, only one step remains between quiet realization and undeniable action. The next chapter will reveal what happens when that final step is finally taken, and when the answer your soulmate has been searching for becomes the beginning of an entirely new destiny for both of your hearts. Don't scroll, listen to this because your heart needs this right now. This message is for you. The question that has lived inside your soulmate's heart for so long has finally brought them to the edge of a decision they can no longer postpone. They have spent countless nights imagining every possible outcome. They have wondered what you would say. They have wondered whether too much time has passed. They have wondered whether life has already carried you so far forward that there is no place left for them in your story. But something inside them has changed. They have realized that living with uncertainty is no longer as frightening as living with regret. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. There comes a moment when the universe stops asking a person to think and begins asking them to choose. Your soulmate has arrived at that moment. For so long, they believed the safest path was to remain where they were. They convinced themselves that silence protected both of you from disappointment. They called their hesitation wisdom. They called their distance maturity. But as the months passed, those explanations became harder to believe. Every experience life placed before them quietly revealed another piece of the truth. They met people who made them laugh but never made them feel understood. They found temporary excitement that disappeared as quickly as it arrived. They discovered that emotional peace cannot be replaced by distraction. Every lesson pointed back toward the same realization. The connection they shared with you had never truly left their heart. It had simply been waiting beneath layers of fear, pride, and unfinished healing. This message is for you. While your soulmate has been uncovering these truths, your own heart has continued becoming stronger than ever before. There was a time when you waited for signs because you believed someone else's decision would determine your happiness. Today you understand something completely different. Your happiness begins within you. You have built a life that honors your peace. You have learned to trust your intuition. You have discovered that healthy love should feel like a place of safety rather than a source of constant uncertainty. Those lessons have transformed the way you see yourself, and they have prepared you for every relationship that follows. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. The universe often separates people long enough for them to become the versions of themselves they were always capable of becoming. Looking back, your soulmate realizes they were not emotionally ready to recognize the gift standing in front of them. They wanted love without vulnerability. They wanted connection without accountability. They wanted certainty without risk. Life gently taught them that real love asks for something much deeper. It asks for honesty. It asks for humility. It asks for the courage to stand before another person without hiding behind excuses. Listen to this. Because your heart needs this right now. Have you noticed how peaceful your spirit has become lately? Perhaps situations that once caused anxiety no longer have the same power over you. Perhaps you found yourself smiling more easily or worrying less about things you cannot control. Maybe you've continued noticing repeating numbers like 111, reminding you that every ending creates room for a beginning, or 222 encouraging patience when life feels uncertain, or 444 gently reassuring you that unseen support has never left your side. Whether you see these moments as spiritual encouragement or simple reminders to remain hopeful, they invite you to keep trusting the path you have been walking. Your soulmate has also reached a place where the final question no longer feels impossible to answer. They once asked themselves, "Should I choose love?" Today they ask something entirely different. Can I continue living honestly if I ignore what my heart already knows? The answer comes quietly but clearly. No. They understand that pretending would only create another chapter filled with regret. They know that fear has already stolen enough time. They no longer want fear deciding what the future looks like. This message is for you. Imagine your soulmate sitting quietly after another ordinary day. They close their eyes and remember your kindness, your patience, your ability to bring calm into moments that once felt overwhelming. They realize those memories have never faded because they were never built on fantasy. They were built on genuine care. They finally understand that authentic love is not measured only by powerful emotions. It is measured by the peace someone leaves behind when they enter your life. That peace has remained with them through every season. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this right now. There is another truth your soulmate has accepted. If they ever hope to build something meaningful, it cannot be built upon the same habits that created distance before. They understand that trust grows through consistency rather than promises. They know that respect is shown through actions instead of intentions alone. They recognize that real change is demonstrated day after day, not simply spoken during emotional moments. Those realizations have become the foundation of the person they are now striving to become. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. The universe is reminding you not to forget everything your healing has taught you. If someone returns to your path, let them meet the version of you who values honesty, communication, and mutual effort. Let them meet someone who no longer abandons themselves out of fear of losing another person. Your boundaries are not walls. They are evidence that you have learned to love yourself while remaining open to genuine connection. This message is for you. Destiny is rarely about forcing two people together. It is about helping two people become capable of building something healthier than they could have built before. Every tear, every unanswered question, every lesson, and every quiet moment of growth has shaped both of your hearts. You learned resilience. Your soulmate learned accountability. You discovered self-worth. They discovered gratitude. Those separate journeys have quietly prepared both of you for a chapter that could never have existed without those lessons. Don't scroll. Because your heart needs this right now. As this story reaches the end of its journey, remember that the greatest transformation was never simply about whether your soulmate would choose you. The greatest transformation was about whether both of you would choose truth over fear, healing over resentment, and hope over regret. Your soulmate has finally answered the one final question that kept them standing still. They understand that love is not only something we feel. It is something we choose through honesty, courage, patience, and consistent action. Whatever tomorrow brings, they know they can no longer hide from the truth their heart has carried all along. Listen to this, because your heart needs this right now. Continue walking forward with confidence. Continue protecting the peace you worked so hard to build. Continue believing that every season of your life has shaped you for something healthier, wiser, and more authentic than before. The universe has been writing this story through every lesson both of you experienced. And now, with fear no longer holding the pen, the next chapter belongs to two hearts that have finally learned the difference between simply hoping for love and becoming ready to live it with honesty.